my last video, I did a lesson on how to hit pitch shots from 30 to 60 yards. And in response, I got quite a few emails and some messages on YouTube from people who said, yeah, they can make their practice swings look like what I was doing, but when they put a ball in front of them, they tend to hit it fat. So now let's talk about what causes your miss hits. There's a few things that I find that cause the miss hits. Number one is ball position. People tend to get the ball too far to the back of their stance, which creates a little more shaft lean and takes the bounce off. So you wind up with the leading edge getting in the ground a little more than you would like. The next thing I see that causes people problems is they swing it back here and then they try to create more speed with their hands and arms than they need. So when they go to create more speed, they drive the handle more forward, which, as you saw there, it put the club in the ground and it makes the club stick. Or you throw the angles past and you wind up catching the ball thin. So what I want you to feel is as you swing back that this left arm and the club are basically one unit. So in order to get the club to move, you've got to turn your left shoulder through the shot. Okay? If that happens, then the radius doesn't change and you're going to have consistent strike pattern on the ground. Now I gave myself a into the grain lie here, so this is going to be very unforgiving. Now if I want to be able to hit this correctly, I've got to get the club to land on the ground with the bounce. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to let the club head catch up with me. So you're going to have the shaft pointing more back at your center. Now a drill that I like to use to do that is some little one-handed swings. So if you hit some pitches with just your right arm, if you're right-handed, or your left arm if you're left-handed, what you'll feel is how the club actually releases past you. Now, rarely do I find somebody will hit it fat from there. If I tell them, okay, I want you to hit it with one hand, in general, I'll see that, where they'll hit it pretty solid. Okay? So that's a great drill to help you feel how to let the club pass. So next, the next problem I see is people get too much wrist hinge. So you get the club a little too hinged, and when you come down, again, you've got the handle too far forward. And the third problem I see is people tend to get ball bound. You know, you could sit here and make perfect practice swings all day long, where you're just making this perfect practice swing. You put a ball in front of you and something changes. So what you've got to do is you've got to do some drills where maybe you're setting up 4 or 5 balls. And you make some practice swings and you just walk through and hit them. And get used to making the club swing and have it just run into the ball and not anticipate impact and flinch. Okay? And if you can do that, you'll start to see your contact looking better, where you're making the club hit the golf ball and catch it clean like that. And you'll know you've got the swing right when you can make 50-yard pitch shots and not make much divot. So you can see I can sit here and hit little 50-yard pitch shots and I'm not making a divot. So I want you to be able to go through your entire practice session. You're sitting here hitting a 50-yard shot and have very little scarring on the ground. If you can do that, you'll be able to hit the shot solid anytime you want.